Okay, something's not good here. There we go. There we go. Good morning. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing out here? Allergies are getting me a little bit, but we are here. The weather is spectacular all week long. If you can get out and enjoy it, do that. Give that to yourself. So today, for reading, excuse my voice is a little bit funky. Um, for reading, we were going to talk about an author's point of view and how they use rhetoric, which are different um, types of words that create moods to put forward their point of view or purpose. What I asked you to look at before class was a poem where Maya Angelou actually recites Phenomenal Woman, and she uses so many rhetorical devices. I mean, really just in command of the English language to make you feel and imagine so many different things. Not going to go over it, not going to run the video because there was some kind of problem where you weren't able to hear. It's 2 minutes long. Take the time to listen to this poem. So what we're going to do now is to go into the lesson about what rhetorical devices writers use. So let's take a look here. There we go. Acting funny. Oh, okay. I see what you want to do. All right. So you don't have to know all of these. No, you do not, because look how many there are. You don't have to know them all. Know really some of the main ones, and I will tell you what they do. And I will tell you which ones to focus on. So, stylistic or rhetorical devices are commonly used in all kinds of texts, fiction and nonfiction, in written or spoken texts. And there are so many of them, far too numerous and diverse to be analyzed in detail. So, this sheet is just going to give you an explanation of some of the most important ones. And they are used where the author wants to stress, underline, or emphasize an idea to make an impression on the readers by using language that is out of the ordinary. And the devices here operate on the level of the choice of words or on the sentence construction. Let's take a first look. Imagery. And so, what imagery is used for is to allow the reader to create a clear picture that represents the idea the author wants the reader to understand or accept. And so imagery is often emotional and it can be used to express feelings or to evoke, bring out an emotional response in the reader. The most common kind of imagery is a metaphor, and it is a reduced comparison. For example, using the eye of heaven for the sun. A simile is a very explicit comparison. And you're going to see words like. Your eyes shine like the sun. So your eyes are the sun. They are little suns, right? They shine like the sun. And then a symbol is a concrete thing to represent um, an abstract term or a term that we really can't um, define. It's not something you can see or smell or taste, right? The rose is a symbol of love. The cross is a symbol of Christianity. Okay, so metaphors, similes, symbols, those are important. Now here are some others. Alliteration. It repeats the first sound in two or more words at the beginning of the word. For example, excuse me, let us go forth and lead the land we love. That's part of a speech by John F. Kennedy. So it makes you hear, it like draws your attention. Assonance, which is repetition of the internal vowel sounds in neighboring words that do not end the same. Sweet dreams are made of this. And the way they pronounce it in the song, they say, sweet dreams are made of these. So what is our internal sound? E, E, E. Sweet, I'm not going to sing it. Started to sing it. And then onomatopoeia. It sounds like the thing it refers to. The name cuckoo imitates the sound that the bird makes. Cuckoo. And then we're looking at how sentences are constructed. Again, we're just going to do a couple of these. You're going to be, looking at repetition and parallelism. A couple of these you really are going to see. Parallelism means that the structure of successive sentences or phrases must be the same. Okay. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. So I'm going to give you another one with parallelism. Jane hated shopping, therefore she uses Instacart. You want your subject to remain the same, or the structure has to be the same. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill. It cannot be good. Being called by a ghost, it cannot be ill. It cannot be bad. It cannot be good. Okay. Repetition, repeating sound, syllables, words, phrases, sentences as a means of structuring a text. It is his only wish, his only ambition, the only plan he pursues. And then something called anaphora, which is an obvious repetition of a word. Though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their waters' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope, though. And all of this is for effect. It's to, and they're using Shakespeare and different plays from William Shakespeare here. Now, this is a list of words. Enumeration, it's just giving, when you give an enumeration, you're giving a list, right? I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful. This is how I see him. And then you gave a list. Enumeration, number, numeral. And then in climactic order, starts with something less important to more important, or bigger to smaller, leading to a climax. Businessmen who have lived 5, 10, 20 years in America. Contrast, opposing views. Hyperbole, this is a huge overstatement. It's an exaggeration. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse, right? It's raining cats and dogs out there. Gonna need to get Noah's Ark in a minute. That's hyperbole. Understatement is when you put less emphasis on something when it's used as a form of irony, or irony is when you just you see the contrast in what's really happening. And so when someone's, they're wilding out, you just said, oh, you seem a bit upset. That's understatement. Euphemism, we kind of use euphemisms, what we would say in polite society. Someone passed away, they went on instead of they died, right? Direct address, talking to you directly, right? A rhetorical question is you ask a question that does not require an answer, but it's something that's clear to everyone. Don't we all love peace and hate war, right? Don't we all want the best for our children? And then a quotation supports the author's ideas from experts, public figures, or other texts, and it makes you more credible, believable, acceptable. Repetition of keywords, personification. I'm not going to go through them all. It's a metaphor which you assign to plants, right? Necessity is the mother of invention, but it's not an actual mother, right? The horse smiled upon its favorite rider. We know horses don't smile. So here's a paradox, which is self-contradictory. It's awfully hard work doing nothing. Well, if you're doing nothing, how are you working hard, right? And a name, telling name, Darth Vader, Darth, which means dark, and Vader means invader. Puns. Are words that sound the same but have different meaning, and there are a lot of puns in English. And this one is not a good example. At the drunkard's funeral, 4 of his friends carried the beer, and the beer is not actually the B-E-E-R. I'm not sure what this word is because it's German. At the drunkard's funeral, 4 of his friends carried the beer. You know what? Let's go to dictionary.com real quick. So they have some meaning. Into there. Carry the beer. What does that mean? Okay, there you go. It's the stand with the coffin. You know, the frame is called the bier. So at the drunkard's funeral, 4 of his friends carried the beer. That's supposed to be cute, but it's not really funny, is it? So, and then irony, it's the opposite of what you actually mean. You know, how you look out there in the winter when all the snow coming down. Oh, it's a beautiful day out there, right? Great. And it's a literal blizzard going on. So, this is in German. This must have been a German. This must have been a German worksheet. So that's all we have to look at that. And so what we have next is a worksheet. This is really strange. So let's take a look at this one. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. So we're not shooting with words. We can't cut with eyes. So what are we actually doing here? What rhetorical tool is she using? Is she using metaphors? She's comparing words to being painful, right? And harsh looks, it's cutting. And with your behavior, it's killing me, it's hurting me spiritually, right? So these are metaphors. And could you state this quote without using rhetorical tools? You would just say, you're saying harsh words to me. You're looking at me in a way that is not kind. You're wounding me with your behavior, but still like air, I rise. And that's a simile, like air, I'll rise. A comparison. Well, no, that's a metaphor still. And still like air, I rise. But you know what? I'll get over it, right? I'll rise. Not only will I get over it, I will be better than I've been. I will be, and my ultimate self is really what she's saying. And this one, how well glorious a greeting the sun gives the mountains. He's sitting there looking out on the day. And so Can you remember what rhetorical tool? If we say, how glorious a meeting the sun gives the mountains. Let's look again. How glorious a greeting. What can the sun give? Can the sun greet the mountains? It is a metaphor again, and it's also there's no repetition. Is there personification? Can the sun greet mountains? No, the sun cannot greet mountains. So there is some personification too. So am I asking you to know these? No, because when you see the test, they are going to give you the definitions and you'll just have to know to recognize them. Okay, you're going to see this. So that was the worksheet. That's all we have to work on today because I wanted to drill into that skill. Go over that worksheet again. And if you need additional practice, I can give it to you. But listen to this poem because we're going to talk more about that poem in the rhetorical devices she uses on Wednesday. So that's all we have for today. And everybody be well. I hope you're not